T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition and liftoff.
Live from somewhere deep in the Freedom State of Florida, it's the Let's Be Frank Show with your host, Frank.
I have no audio. Man, I'm such a rookie. I had my headphones resting on top of my mic. Well, there we go. Well, how about that? How about starting off the Freedom Stream with no audio? It's great to see all of you guys. Thank you for being here. Hello over on Rumble. Thank you for being over there as well. Don't forget to hit the like button on both sides, YouTube and Rumble. Help out the algorithm the best you guys can. I do appreciate that. And of course, Independence Weekend. We had a great Independence Day yesterday, July 4th. Had a lot of great stuff take place, right? We had President Trump signing the big, beautiful bill into law. We had an awesome fireworks display, and hopefully you guys did not injure yourselves in said fireworks displays around the country. Hopefully you guys have all of your appendages and all of your digits still with you, because every year it never fails that we have that we have videos of people blowing off their fingers and arms or hands or whatever because they have had too much to drink and setting off fireworks. But anyway, I saw an interesting comment just a second ago in the stream. I think it was Dr. Insomnia that may have said this. He says Jill Biden should be the first resident to Alligator Alcatraz, Florida Gitmo. And I agree. So what we have here, of course, is Jill Biden. As you guys know, many theorize that Jill Biden may have been the autopin. But beyond the autopin, Jill Biden was definitely engaged in elder abuse on, of course, Mr. Joe Biden there. And of course, we knew how much she kept a tight leash on him. And she was there present in things that she should never have been present for. She was there for cabinet meetings. She was there for meetings behind closed doors. She was always snooping through the paperwork. So, yeah, there was a lot of stuff that was taking place behind the scenes with Jill Biden and Joe Biden. I don't think people kind of realize the depths of this. This is something we took what we looked at during the presidency, during the time that he was there at the White House, and we documented a lot of this stuff with Dr. Jill, Nurse Biden, right, and Joe Biden, and the internal conflicts that were taking place behind closed doors in the White House, and the rumors and reports of things that it's just not should be taking place for an American president, and they truly utilized an opportunity to use someone who was not all there anymore, and they knew it. But because of that, he was the perfect candidate for the Democrats to run, an easily controlled asset, someone who they could pass through whatever they want. And we saw the auto pin at work where we got illegitimate Supreme Court pick who should have never been on the Supreme Court, Justice Brown, who is absolutely a DEI hire. And that is something that needs to be addressed. And so, yeah, that's what we got going on. Let's go ahead and take a look at this first story because we got a lot to cover tonight. We have a lot of stories to take place. And of course, we have Democrats across the country celebrating the catastrophic floods that are taking place in Texas. And my prayers are with those who are in Texas who are being impacted by these floods, and the people who have been impacted already. The loss of life, the loss of children in Texas is a terrible thing. And we have Democrats and these liberals cheering death upon Texas because they voted for Donald Trump. And so we'll take a look at that story and look at those tweets and look at those sick ghouls who sit there and celebrate death. That should not be a surprise to any of us because these are the same ones who advocate strongly for deleting babies from their mother's womb. So they have no problem with cheering on death. It is their cult. It is their religion. It is what they strive to do. They hate life. They hate the beauty of God's creation, and they absolutely just want to spit in the face of it every chance they get. And so let's go ahead and dive into this first story, though. First, here we go. We have a DC insider, the DNC insider, spills the beans. What Jill Biden did was an absolutely elder abuse. This should be enough to go ahead and arrest her. This should be plenty enough. The DOJ, led by Pam Bondi, or the FBI, Kash Patel, and Dan Bongino, needs to start investigating this immediately because there is a classic view of elder abuse going on with Joe Biden and Jill Biden, and it needs to go ahead and be rectified. But let's look at the story here. The White House, or the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform, is looking into the Biden administration and is issuing subpoenas to many Biden staffers to review White House auto pen use and the cover-up of President Joe Biden's mental decline. More people are coming forward with their stories. In an interview with Fox News Digital, Leah, a former National Finance Committee member for the former DNC fundraiser, was described as having a front row seat to Joe Biden's presidency and the people who pulled the strings behind the scenes. Biden is definitely complicit, but there were a lot of people behind him, like a puppet master, she explained. Former First Lady Jill Biden very much knew what she was doing. What she did was absolutely elder abuse. There's no question in my mind, she asserted. Joe was not able to do a lot of campaigning events, so Jill would come out on his behalf, acting like the president or the presidential candidate. That's why she graced the Vogue cover 3 times. She loved it, she continued. If I were to pinpoint 2 reasons why Joe decided to run again, it would be 2 people, Jill and Hunter Biden, because Hunter Biden's freedom was on the line and Jill's ego was on the line. She concluded that then First Lady was the one in control of running the White House. It was not Joe Biden, but she wasn't alone doing it. They deny the cover-up, but I had a front row seat watching it happen, she told Fox. People like Anthony Burnell, I saw him running the White House like he was in charge, like he was a king. It was just so amazing now to see him dodge a subpoena and completely dodge accountability. He can run, but he can't hide. His name isn't going to go down in infamy forever, she said. It's going to go down in infamy forever. Burnell, a former senior advisor to Jill, refused to appear for testimony in front of the Oversight Committee. Recently received a deposition subpoena from Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer of Kentucky. Lee also identified former Deputy Chief of Staff Bruce Reed, Counselor Steve Richett, and senior advisors Mike Donald and Anita Dunn as individuals helping run the White House instead of Biden. Lee also said that Near Tandem, a former domestic policy advisor for Biden, played an intricate role in using the auto pen when Biden was manifestly unqualified and unable to prosecute the duties of the office. As more insiders are coming forward, it is becoming more clear that this investigation is far from over. Again, this should already be in front of the DOJ. This should be in front of the FBI. They should already be investigating all of these things, issuing arrest warrants instead of subpoenas. There needs to be accountability for this. How far deep does this rot go? How many individuals in the Biden auto pen scandal has been fingered in this? How many of them needs to be locked up, including Jill Biden? She should be in the alligator Alcatraz here in Florida. She should have been the first resident there, along with her beloved illegals who are going to be stored there. Absolutely, this is crazy that we're not demanding more accountability from our leaders in Congress and, of course, the DOJ and the FBI. These individuals have gotten away with so much criminality that any normal American would have been put behind bars for eternity. There would be no second chances for you. You would have been picked up by a van with a burlap sack thrown over your head and thrown into the van like Hillary Clinton was back in 2015 when she fell out like a sack of potatoes. That's what would happen to an everyday American. That's what would take place. What needs to take place, of course, is arrest warrants. That's what needs to take place. It's enough. We've had enough time. These swamp dwellers, these deep state actors, all need to be held to account. This can no longer go on any longer. We want retribution. We want justice. I want these individuals to fear the American people. Fear the American people, because we demand justice. And these individuals who have run away from justice, who have thumbed their noses down at the law, thinking they are above it and it does not apply to them, should be quickly applied to them with the full force of the government. That is what I want. That is what we need. Jill Biden needs to be in prison. And there's a strong case that Joe should be in prison as well, along with the staffers and those behind the scenes inside the White House during Biden's tenure while he was there. That needs to be taking place. That needs to have a 4 a.m. raid in the Biden's household and Jill and Hunter being escorted out in handcuffs for the whole nation to watch, to show you what happens when you break the law, when you think that you're not going to be responsible, when you're not going to face any punishment, when there's not going to be any type of accountability. This is how you behave. You behave like you're the sitting president of the United States when you are not. Jill Biden was doing that. There were so many instances that we covered here on this channel, and I know many other channels covered these things, along with other media individuals who covered the scandals that were taking place behind the scenes. And not one iota, not one individual from the mainstream media even questioned it. Now they're coming out and saying, oh, yeah, we should have really seen the decline in Joe Biden's mental health. Really? Really? Because everyone could see it. The majority of Americans saw it. He didn't win the 2020 election. That was handed to him by the deep state. That was handed to him by China. That's how he won the election. That's how he won in 2020. We locked down the country. We flood the system with mail-in ballots, not knowing where they're coming from, but they're coming in. We got truckloads coming in at 4 a.m. in the morning, where President Trump is leading in every swing state, leading before a mysterious pipe burst in Georgia, before they close up all the windows in Michigan, before Pennsylvania kicks out all of the auditors who were watching the voting or the counting, the tabulations. I still want retribution for COVID and the 2020 election. Now that I hope that the big, beautiful bill has been passed, has been signed into law. We can focus on these domestic issues that need serious looking into. How can we trust any other elections moving forward? We knew what they were going to try to do in this last election. We knew what they were going to try to do. They were doing everything they could in order to try to repeat 2020 again. Fortunately, we didn't have a COVID lockdown. Fortunately, we didn't have massive mail-in ballot frauding that took place like it did in 2020. Fortunately, the American people said, no, we need to vote in overwhelming numbers, and President Trump wins the popular vote and the Electoral College vote, which I would argue he also won in 2020 and 2016. So that's what we have. We have these people who got away with criminal activities. That's treason. Those individuals should be prosecuted for treason. Shouldn't be anything else. We shouldn't give them a slap on the wrist. It should be treason. That's what should happen. These people have gotten away with too much. Treason is the only remedy that we have left here. January 6th as well. Thank you, Holland Wolf. January 6th, again. I have a big story here about Mike Pence, but there's something that I led on years ago. We talked about this whole thing with Mike Pence. Years ago, we talked about how he was sabotaging the Trump administration from within. It was his office who sent the FBI in to take out Michael Flynn. You guys do realize this, right? You guys do realize that General Flynn was set up by the FBI by Mike Pence? Because this is something that I talked about years ago. Screaming into this microphone. Maybe not this exact one. Maybe it was back when I was just recording with my phone. Screaming into the phone. Mike Pence is sabotaging President Trump from behind the scenes. Working behind the scenes to sabotage Trump's first administration. And we saw the sabotage take place in real time. What happened after Michael Flynn was taken out? Oh, the floodgates opened up. They knew they had an entry point through Mike Pence and Paul Ryan. They knew they could infiltrate the Trump administration, which they did. Reince Priebus? Was that his name? Reince Priebus, the chief of staff for President Trump. Do you guys remember that dude? That dude was in on it too. He's the one that staffed the White House. He's the one that allowed Alexander Vindman the perfectly fine phone call. That guy who coordinated with Adam Schiff to bring the first impeachment. Dude, it was all snakes. A lot of us were able to call it out early on. Jeff Sessions was sidelined right from the beginning. Jeff Sessions was not able to do anything right at the beginning. Remember his, it took forever for him to get even through the confirmations. In the meantime, the deputy DOJ, the Attorney General, Deputy Attorney General was Sally Yates, I think who her name was. She was a Democrat. She was a holdover from the Obama administration. Reince Priebus. She was a holdover from the Obama administration running Trump's DOJ. Those first 2 weeks were so critical into Trump's first administration. And he was surrounded by snakes. Every single one of them. They hamstringed his administration right from the get-go. All of these swamp dwellers, these deep staters, the Uniparty, all got in there and allowed all of these elements to stay within the White House. Do you remember there was leaks after leak after leak after leak coming out of the White House? James Comey leaking to the CNN, New York Times, Washington Post. Try to make a big scandal for him getting fired. He deserved to get fired, but more than that, he deserved to go to prison. And what do we have? We had nothing to show for the first 4 years. Those individuals are still walking free. They got away with hamstringing a president in his first administration. And none of those people have been even charged. It was treason. All of these individuals sabotaging a duly elected president. We're going to need a lot more alligator Alcatrazes if we're going to drain this swamp. Let's talk about this a little bit longer, because I have a video here. Let me go ahead and pull this down. Now we're done talking about Jill. Let's talk about Mike Flynn for a second, and Mike Pence and the rest of the White House, and talk about how they schemed to shut it down. He was on with Benny Johnson the other day, and I have my own issues with General Flynn. I have other issues with General Flynn, but that has nothing to do with this, because this should have never happened. This should have never happened. Let's take a listen to this. This was on Benny Johnson Thursday. Let's take a listen.
You're saying Paul Ryan and Mike Pence at least were in on this?
Oh yeah, there's no doubt. There's no doubt about it. Paul Ryan and Mike Pence wanted Trump out during the very famous, prior to the election in 2016, the pussy tapes. Okay, I'll say it like that. Sorry, but that infamous tapes came out. I know at that time that there was discussions between Reince Priebus and Mike Pence about, well, if Trump steps down, then we're going to have a plan, and we're going to, because they were hopeful, because that tape didn't come out through Democrat operatives. Okay. So there was a plan for, hopefully Trump's going to step down and go, screw this. You guys can have it. Those guys were ready to step right in. Okay. This is 2016. So all the people out there that think, all these guys are great because they're Republicans, sorry, they're not. This is where the Uniparty steps in. And the Uniparty is one of these big problems that we face in this country, because they don't want to accept that we are in the midst of a revolution, and a Marxist takeover. And Barack Obama, there's no reason in the world why Barack Obama should have ever won the first time around, but he did, because there was a push by a lot of people, because they knew this was the opportunity that they had to start this turnover of our country. Okay. 8 years of Barack, 8 years of Hillary, we'd be done. So now, here's where we are at today on your show, here in America with this, bill that's about to happen. And Trump has got a lot of authority, right? A lot of leadership authority that he's been given by the judgment of the American people, by the majority of the American people, the way our country is supposed to be run. And in that judgment, he's going to have to make a decision. And this is kind of where I keep saying enough is enough. He's going to have to make a decision about how and who to hold accountable.
Yes. And
he's going to have to turn. I want people to remember that the chief law enforcement officer in the country is not the attorney general. It's not the attorney general. The chief law enforcement in the country is the president of the United States. We always say, he's the president and he's the commander in chief. He's also the chief law enforcement officer in the country. He's the only one with pardon authority at that level, right? And he can declare things based on national security and national emergency issues alone. So he can decide which direction the country goes, and he does it because the majority of the judgment of the American people were imbued into his ability to be able to do that. That's where we are.
Yeah. And Michael Flynn is absolutely correct in this assessment. He is absolutely correct. President Trump, there has to be a moment where he has to say who's going to be held accountable. All right, we have Republicans and Democrats on both sides that need to be held accountable. Mike Pence, right? His whole staff, he had a whole staff working in the White House in order to, again, sabotage Trump's first administration. Reince Priebus, the chief of staff, his job staffing the White House, allowed Democrat holdovers from the Obama administration to stay within the White House. Again, all of this is public knowledge. We know this. We know this. Talked about it for years. That's how we ended up with Alexander Vindman, who colluded with Adam Schiff to pursue the first impeachment. You had Sally Yates, the holdover from the Obama administration, running the Attorney General's office while Jeff Sessions was being held up, his nomination being held up in the Senate. And she was able to launch the Robert Mueller investigation into Trump. And so we have all of these things coordinated by Joe Biden in 2016, December of 2016, prior to Obama and him leaving the White House. He comes up with this plan that says, hey, we can take out Trump. We can take him out. Remember when Chuck Schumer went on Rachel Maddow and said that the intelligence agencies were going to set Trump up? They were going to get him. We know about the FBI's insurance policies that they had for President Trump. We know about the illegal leaking that was taking place out of the White House and other entities of the administration, all being done by Democrats and deep swamp Republicans who did not want the change to take place, did not want to hear from the American people. They were prepared. Many big-time Republican podcasters at the time, people like Ben Shapiro and others, and lots of influential Republicans within D.C., within Congress, were prepared for a Hillary administration. They were ready to be the minority. They were ready for that 8 years of Hillary. Thank God we didn't get that. Thank God we got President Trump that severely interrupted what they had planned for this country. We would have been in the midst of a World War III. We would be entangled in war with Russia on behalf of Hillary Clinton. Thank you. I am Divine Creation with the super chat. I'd like to go ahead and shout it out real quick. Says, I'm Divine Creation. Says, Frank, justice will be done. Trump has it all. Remember when Graham questioned Kavanaugh about long-standing law and military tribunals? This will go through military intelligence and JAG. Trust God, brother. Oh, I trust God. Absolutely. I trust God with all my heart, mind, and soul. But yeah, you bring up some great points there. Absolutely. Thank you so much for the super chat, by the way. Appreciate that. Yeah. And we have so many elements all over this administration, or all over this past administration. It seems as though Trump has cleaned up this administration. The leaking has really been hampered. There are actually things, we actually have loyalists within the White House this time. We actually have a pretty good cabinet this time of those who are willing to implement Trump's vision or agenda, the agenda he ran on in 2024. So now's the time. The time to strike will be within the next year. That's the time to strike. It will. It needs to happen. If it's going to happen, it needs to happen within the next year. And in doing so, it probably has to be pretty tight-lipped as well. So I know there's a lot of things that he has to weigh. There's a lot of things he has to determine if it's the time to do it or not. Will locking up a bunch of criminal congressional members, criminal deep staters, will that be enough to rip the country apart to where one side says it's enough and takes up arms against the other one? I don't know. And anyone telling you they do know is a liar. I don't know. Will that be enough? I don't know. It wasn't enough for on the right, as we had January 6ers being locked up by the last administration, placing lockdowns, vaccine mandates. It wasn't enough for the right to rise up against the government. So I don't know. Would it be enough for Democrats to decide to go ahead and rise up again against the government? I do not know. Yeah, I don't want to be that guy, folks. I don't want to be that guy that says trust the plan. I don't want to be that guy. I was burnt early on with that whole trust the plan thing. Trust me. I was burnt early on. They said, slow walk Sessions, and then remember trust. Who is that attorney? Who was that? It wasn't Bill Barr. Bill Barr was one of the slow walk Bill Barr or something like that. But it was John Durham. Trust in Durham, right? I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be that guy to tell you trust the plan. I don't want to trust the plan. I trust God. That's all I trust. When it comes to this, I don't trust anybody in government. I trust enough that I think Trump is working on behalf of the country, on behalf of America. I do trust that. However, I don't want us to get trapped into this trusted plan blindly. We need to see something happen as well. Right? That whole John Durham thing, man, that lasted for how long? Nobody got arrested on that whole John Durham investigation. Nobody got arrested. And a lot of right-wing people made a lot of money off that whole John Durham thing. I remember seeing a Twitter post after Twitter post about that stuff. But for sure, I think that we have an opportunity here. Yeah, Bill Barr was absolute deep swamp as well. Barr was swamp. Bill Barr was a swamp creature, for sure. Bill Barr was, I think there are so many other elements. Again, I believe there is a better administration this time. And if we're going to see something, it's going to come from this administration. If not, then what? Right? We have to look forward to J.D. Vance. Does J.D. Vance have the cojones to do it? I don't know. Don't know. But we are seeing the pendulum swing further and further right every time. We will get someone who will purge the government. We will. It will happen. And I think it's something that ought to happen as far as locking up people who have committed treason. And there is a list of individuals who have done that. But these people are smart. See, a lot of these people are smart. They're not dumb. They do criminal acts like money laundering. They money laundering too, probably. But there's layers before you get to an Adam Schiff, right? There's enough, plausibility, deniability, something like that, deniability, something. Anyway, there's enough of that he's layered himself, for example. So we're just going to use Adam Schiff as an example here, right? So he has a staff member. He has his head staff guy. That guy has other staff people below him. And below those staff guys, they have contacts of other individuals. So it becomes harder and harder to connect the actual crime from like Adam Schiff. And you have to go through all of these individuals to get there. Right? It's like racketeering, money laundering, these types of big things. Yes, plausibility, deniability. Yes, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, thank you, Salty D and Mike Dawson. Exactly what I was talking about. So that's the issue with some of these people. That's the issue with some of these individuals within Congress. Again, like I said, they're not dumb individuals. Yeah, J.D. Vance is way better than Mike Pence. I will take J.D. Vance over Mike Pence any day. 10 out of 10 times. 10 out of 10 times. Yeah. Again, these individuals, they're smart. I mean, they're not so smart they will never get caught type of smart, but they're smart. There's a whole system. We know there's a whole system. They have a whole system set up within Congress that silence sexual harassment cases against them. How many of these Congress people are out there harassing and sexually assaulting staff workers within their own thing there? They have a whole slush fund by your taxpayer dollars to silence those cases. It's a system that already has this whole thing baked into it. It's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot. So, yeah, Pence, Paul Ryan, Reince Priebus. I'm sure there's others, probably John McCain. There's a lot of them that were involved with that. A lot of them. I'm not a fool. I understand how this works. And hey, by the way, big shout out to the Rumble stream over there. We have over 28 people watching right now. Great job, guys. Great job. Don't forget to hit that like button over there over on Rumble. We will have Rumble streams, by the way, just a quick plug. We will have Rumble streams, exclusive Rumble streams on Mondays. Mondays will be exclusive Freedom streams over on Rumble. So check that out, guys. Cool stuff. I love the Rumble peeps. Thank you for keeping that afloat over there. You guys are doing great. You guys are doing great over there. And over here, too, we have over 113 people over here today. That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So, hey, Diggy over on Rumble. It's great to see you, too. Yeah, so we have all this stuff taking place, right? We got the whole swamp in D.C. with Mike Pence and stuff. These people really do need to be arrested. There's so much terrible things connected to these people. They're not like you. They're not like me. They're not ordinary people. And when I say ordinary, don't take that as an insult, by the way. I think it's the most flattering thing you could tell anybody. Say you're ordinary. It means you're not weird. It means you're not psycho. Ordinary American, someone who has basic values. These people are absolute whack jobs. They're weird. They're degenerates. These people are not good people. I remember someone brought up JPR. Love JPR, by the way. John Paul Revere, a creator here on YouTube. Anyway, he made this series of Max Rhino. It was a spoof on Republicans who ran, and it's just not just for Republicans. I think it's just a spoof on the politician, right? Where they'll sit there and they try to dress up. They're like lizard people. Seriously, that is such an underrated thing. They are lizard people in so many ways. Unironically, they're lizard people. They are lizard people. They shapeshift. They're chameleons, right? They do all of these things in order to try to blend in. When they're campaigning, they don't act and behave ordinary. They don't. Are any of these people comfortable in their own skin outside of DC? Have any of these guys, has any of these guys in Congress that you have met seem like they can gel with like just ordinary people? I don't think so. You know, the only politician that I've ever seen comfortable in their own skin? Donald J. Trump. He doesn't have to pander. He doesn't have to drop fake accents. He doesn't have to say he carries hot sauce in his back pocket. He doesn't put on a pair of blue jeans and a shirt and rolls the sleeves up to look like he's an average American. He just connects with people because he's comfortable in his own skin. When you're comfortable in your own skin, you don't have to pretend to be somebody. And Donald Trump is that person. That's one of the things that I really admired about him was his relatability, even though he's a billionaire. I'm not a billionaire. I would not know what to do with $1 billion. I don't even think I would know what to do with $1 million. Not that responsible when it comes to money sometimes. I'm like, oh, yeah, let's go buy a new computer or something. I don't know. Dumb stuff like that, right? I can't relate. I can't relate. However, Trump's there. Dude, relates super to you. Other politicians can't do that. They always look awkward and weird when they they wear mom jeans. Remember Mitt Romney with his mom jeans? Dude, I don't wear mom jeans. I wear regular jeans. These guys are just super unlikable in real life. And I know we've gone off on this tangent, but I think it's worth looking at and talking about right now. I think it is. I don't believe it's unproductive talking about this right now. Because I think there's a sentiment within society. They may be thinking it. Maybe they're afraid to say it out loud. That they behave like lizard people. I know it's a little bit of hyperbole. I know it's like that. Anyway. I am Creation. Thank you for the $10 super chat, by the way. Says, just because you don't see something doesn't mean nothing is happening. Very correct. Correct. I don't have access to everything that's happening behind the scenes. I would suspect the majority of us don't either. Very fair point. Fair point taken. Look into the time AF2 was ordered to return as a SAM flight. Very true. Air Force Two. Very true. Thank you so much for the super chat, by the way. I do appreciate it. Thank you. I am divine. Single-handedly keeping this channel afloat. Thank you. Hyperbole. Yeah, absolutely, Bobby Walter. Hey, thanks for watching over on Rumble. You guys are killing it over there. We got 22 people over there on Rumble. Thank you guys so much for watching on Rumble. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate y'all. I wonder what I can do. Hold on a second, guys. Oh, I guess you can't do mods over on Rumble. That's weird. Okay, that's cool, I guess. Just was looking over there real quick. But yeah, so that's what we have. Let's take a look at this story over here. Well, I want to show you guys this video real quick. Then we're going to talk about this next story. I want to show you guys this video. I appreciate it. I'm Divine. I love you too. I appreciate the love. I really, really do. It's just a quick side note. It's been really tough getting right back into the streaming stuff. I've been thankful for how patient you guys have been with me and how much you guys care about this channel. So thank you for that. I just wanted to say a big thank you for guys for that. And you guys rock it, man. You guys have rock it. Thank you. I am Divine Creation. Really do. It does mean a lot to me. You guys have been patient with me as I've been easing back into the streaming. I think I've been getting back better and better every time every stream passes. So thank you guys so much for the patience and the love you guys support this channel. So thank you for that. So let's go ahead and look at this video over here. This is how Democrats react. This is how this is what I talk about. Weird people, right? Weird individuals who just don't seem like they fit anywhere else and they find a home in the Democrat Party. This lady is absolutely ridiculous. Look at this video here. So over here, this is from Colin Rugg here. He says this: woman films herself making and stabbing President Trump and JD Vance dolls for her 70,000 followers. A little stress release, she proclaimed, as she said, self-proclaiming she, her, these knots on TikTok. Pew Research finds that 56% of young liberal white women have been diagnosed by their doctor or healthcare provider with a mental illness condition. So yeah, there's one for Ron DeSantis as well. Let's take a look at this video because it'll just going to highlight how crazy these individuals are. Bro, look at how many pins Ron DeSantis has in his head and his chest. This is insane. These people are literally insane. She's insane. She should definitely be looked into. Yeah. And look what she's done to President Trump. These are unstable people, unstable individuals. Unstable. You know, these people need a lot of prayer. They need a lot of prayer. And then they probably need some meds. They need prayer and meds and maybe institutionalized. Maybe we could do all three. We could pray for them to receive meds and be I can't even say it's being thrown into an institution. Say it that way. That right there, my friends. Our Secretary of Health, Robert Kennedy Jr., may need to go ahead and put out a statement stating that people who displayed the mental illnesses live on social media should be definitely thrown into an institution. We need to make institutions great again, by the way. Need to make institutions great again. There are too many people with mental disorders who are on the streets. First of all, unfortunately, a lot of our homeless are plagued with mental illnesses. And a lot of these Democrats are plagued with mental illnesses as well, as we see in this video. She goes on to put things on there. Let's see what she talks.
Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
She shows the process of She put cat hair? Did she just take cat hair from her? Bro, poor cat. I'm going to mute this. They got music on here. Poor cat. Look at this cat. And she's putting the fur in this thing. Dude. That's animal abuse. She's using that cat for its fur to do this strange ritual. Absolutely just evil. I don't know if it's evil. It may be. It's just, that's gross, man. I bet you her house smells like cat pee. I guarantee you her house smells like cat pee. Have you ever been over to a friend's house, maybe visiting? Maybe they're a Democrat. I don't have very many Democrat friends. I don't think I have any, actually. Come think about it, I probably don't. If they are, they're probably very silent around me because they know how vocal I can be, and I can be pretty intimidating sometimes. I'm a pretty big guy, and so I just kind of command a room when I get into it. But anyway, that's besides the point. This right here, I can guarantee you've ever walked into a house that they have litter boxes all over the house, and you're just hit by this repugnant smell. Hits you like nothing else has ever hit you before. You'll know it. You'll know that smell. The stench of cat pee. The stench of cat pee. May not even be her only cat. She may have like 15 more inside the house somewhere. Dude, I could guarantee you, I could almost guarantee I could smell the cat pee through the video. I can smell the cat pee through the video. That's how bad it probably is in that house. If she's doing weird stuff like this, there's definitely cat pee smell inside that house. I guarantee it. There we go. I'm back. Don't know what happened to me. But yeah, she needs something. She needs therapy. She needs therapy more than anything else. I know I froze. Hey, thank you so much for the super chat over on Rumble. Oh, is that mine? Whoa, check you guys out. You guys are Bobby Walter for $20 over on Rumble. Here for it, Bobby says. Digley sends a $2 super chat. Prison and prayer combo. Bobby, again, for another $20 super chat. Here for it. And then a prison combo once again over on Rumble. Thanks a lot, guys. That's awesome. Thank you for that. You guys are too generous over here. Thank you guys so much for the super chats over on Rumble. You guys are killing it over there. Thank you so much. That is awesome. Thank you for the super chats over on Rumble. Boo-boo. That's awesome. Great job, guys. Thank you. It's too much. Yeah, I'm Divine says, Frank, I got 2 kitties. No cat smell. I take care of my babies. Yeah, you got to take care of them. You got to change their litter box. Yeah, change your litter box. And it's okay to have cats. I love cats, by the way. I love cats. Absolutely love cats. We had cats for the longest time. I love cats. Cats are amazing companions they can be. I have 2 dogs now. We have 2 dogs now, but the same thing can happen inside a house of dogs, right? You don't take care of your dogs, they'll smell up the house. But yeah, this is, Rumble Rants. That's what they're called. Thank you. Rumble Rants. I forgot they have their own lingo over there. I got to get with it over there. Rumble Rants. Thank you so much for reminding me what they're called. Rumble Rants. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that. Thank you for the Rumble Rants. I call them super chats. My bad. The Greg says dogs are greater than cats. I do. I need the clapping sound effect. I don't have my sound effect board. Yeah, I need to do a couple updates still, but yeah. No hate for cats, says Amazing Trace. I love cats too. I just think they are that it's a requirement if you have a crazy person to have one. Yeah, for sure. Super rant, says Dr. Insomnia. Yeah, so crazy people. You know what's also crazy? Also crazy is people like Elon Musk. I love what Elon did during the election. Don't get me wrong. I loved what Elon Musk did during the election. did great stuff. He helped President Trump in some ways, donating money to his campaign, doing campaign appearances. The biggest thing he did for the election, of course, was buying Rumble. Not buying Rumbles. I got Rumble in my head right now. Buying Twitter. Buying Twitter. One of the biggest things, contributions that Elon could have done was buy Twitter. However, he went off the rails, man. What happened to Elon? Elon went off the rails. Dude was in tight with President Trump. They were working hand in hand. We had the Doge. Man, we had a lot of stuff happening. Positive things, right? Positive things were happening when Trump and Elon were working together. When they were BFFs, man, they were hanging out. They were, chilling, Oval Office visits, UFC fights. They were killing it. But bro, man, Elon fell off hard, man. You guys remember all that? I don't know if you guys kept up with the drama or not, but all that happened over on Twitter and his crash out and everything, and he completely just fell off for a little bit. For whatever it is, maybe he's an act. Who knows? I don't know. I can just tell you what I see. But this is what he's over on Twitter, man. He's over on Twitter, and he's talking about creating a third party, which I guess is great in some ways. A third party, right? Typically, what happens with third parties, though, many of you guys might know already. Third parties are typically not very successful in electing Republicans. First of all, third parties typically siphon more votes from Republicans than they do Democrats. Democrats vote lockstep for the most part. Republicans will be disenfranchised with Republicans for whatever reason. And so they'll do a couple things, right? They'll either stay home, not go out to vote, or vote Libertarian. Both of them are just kind of throwing their votes away, in my opinion. We have two major parties, and I get it, right? We shouldn't have two major parties, but that's what we have. That's the system we have. To create a third party, just like the Green Party and all these other parties that get created, they siphon votes. Like if Elon is to create this American Party, I think it's what he's trying to call it. American Party, yeah, American. He confirms American Party to run candidates in 2026 elections. They're going to siphon more votes from Republicans than they are going to from Democrats. He seriously is going to help elect Democrats at this point. That's what he's going to do. Just because his feelings got hurt about the big, beautiful bill. Again, we talked a little bit about the big, beautiful bill here, right? We talked about some of the things that I did not like in it. We talked about some of the good stuff that was in it. And we talked about how the difference between a self-standing bill, a continuing resolution bill, which this was for the Biden budget, and a bill that President Trump was completely behind in creating a budget for next year, which he hasn't done yet, which hopefully he will work on. So what Elon did was he was really upset by the spending inside the big, beautiful bill. And again, agreed. I think there's a lot of spending on there that we could have probably cut back on. It's a moot point at this point. It's already been passed. It's law now, right? So, okay, great. So Elon, instead of, maybe trying to understand more of the pragmatic way a bill is constructed and debated on and stuff like that, instead of doing that on any of that, and maybe even talking to President Trump himself, maybe in person, and saying, what's going on with this thing? I'm concerned about this thing. And Trump's like, I'd probably say, I hear you. But, this is politics sometimes, and this is how it has to be done. We can address some of these other issues in this next bill. Instead, he has a big crash out. Then he said that if the bill passes, that he's going to primary every Republican who voted for it. Right. So he had this hard meltdown. So here this is, right? Just kind of laying the groundwork there for you guys, the story behind the story. Elon confirms American Party to run candidates in 2026. When asked if his new American Party was aiming for 2028 or sooner, Elon replied, next year. That means the party plans to field candidates in the 2026 midterms, potentially for the House, Senate, and state races. It's the boldest third-party play in decades and a direct shot at the Republican and Democrat duopoly. Anyway, so here he is. American Party could actually shake up U.S. politics. I don't know if it's going to be able to shake up the politics, not the way I think he thinks it's going to. We see how the Libertarians run, right? They're probably the biggest third party. The Libertarians are probably the biggest third party of the parties we have. They're the biggest third party over like the Green Party and the Communist Party. Well, I guess the Democrat Party is a Communist Party, but the card-carrying, I guess, Communist Party. And all these other little parties that are out there, right? Third parties. Environmental Party, the Green Party, and they all like these losers to represent their party. In either case, whenever you see a Republican lose in an election, a lot of people automatically think, well, those Libertarians would probably have voted for the Republican, those 100,000 votes or whatever. Say a Republican loses by like 60,000 votes and there was 100,000 votes for the Libertarian. That doesn't mean all those Libertarians were going to vote for that Republican. That Republican may have still lost. But what happens is this. If you want to change Republicans, you have to participate in the primary process. There are too many Republicans who run unopposed, too many incumbents who run unopposed. That is a thing that we can no longer allow to happen. We got too many losers in these areas, in these seats that are run unopposed. And by the time we figure it out, many times, it's too late. The primaries are over. And now we're stuck with a crap sandwich and a crap sandwich that is another crap sandwich. And we're like, oh, crap. How did this happen? It's because Americans don't participate in the primary process the way that we should. We should put more focus on the primaries. Primaries are very important. That's how we can get rid of incumbents that have been in these positions for decades. And that's the only way that happens. And I know it takes a lot of money to run in politics. It takes a lot of money to run in politics. But there are some times that the apple cart can be upset. And I think Elon is not doing it the correct way. But what do I know? I don't own Twitter. I don't own SpaceX. And I don't own Tesla. So take that for what it's worth. Yeah, Pookie. Yeah, I agree. I don't think Christians in general, talking generality here, I don't think Christians participate enough in elections. I think we show up when there's important bills or amendments in our own states. We show up for those. However, I think overall, I think you're right. I don't think the participation in it is very high. I would be interested to see the numbers of the percentage of Christians who participate in voting. I would be interested in those numbers because I think that would say a lot. So, yeah, X, yeah, you're right, Wendy. X is still censoring and blocking people. Yeah, they're Laura Loomer. I don't agree with Laura Loomer on very many things. There's some good stuff that she's done. There's some good reporting that she's done. Don't discount that. However, there's some things that she does I don't agree with. However, for example, she tweeted out, alligators need to be fed. That was the post. She was censored for that. Her post was flagged for that. Because I think the AI on X, the algorithm has been changed to anything with alligator refers back to alligator Alcatraz, which is here in Florida. Yeah, so Amazing Tree saw it. It was hilarious. I thought it was funny. Again, I don't agree with everything that that she says or does. However, there are some times that she is genuinely funny, and that was a genuine funny moment that she did. I thought it was hilarious. I thought it was hilarious that what she had said. Hey, Bobby Walter with 2 more Rumble rants, killing it over on Rumble tonight. Bobby Walter says this: Elon was doubled rammed. Freak attacking Teslas combined with incentive programs cuts. He had to get distance from Trump to protect his customers. Buy Tesla and get attacked. Trump is probably behind it to protect Elon. Maybe that's a good theory, Bobby Walter. We could run with that theory for a bit. Yeah. Thank you so much again, Bobby. I appreciate the the Rumble rants. Rumble rants. That's what they're called. Rumble rants. I got to remember that. So, yeah. So anyway, so what do you guys think? What do you guys think about the whole third party with Elon Musk? Do you guys think that it's going to impact these next elections? Do you think it will have enough impact in these upcoming midterm elections to really shift anything? Do you think any of his America candidates wins? Dougie says he thinks it's dumb. Again, I think he should participate in the primary process. George Soros is very good at the primary process, and he learned that it's easier to buy local elections, state elections, than it is to buy federal elections. And we've seen that take place with county DAs and city DAs, right, where they are soft on criminals. And so, who knows? Maybe we see something. Doctor says might fizzle out. He is very fickle. He reminds me of almost like have you guys ever had a dog that loves to chase things, but he wouldn't know what to do with it if he caught that thing? I have a dog like that. That's why I speak out like this. Like, they'll bark, they'll chase something, and if they catch that thing, they wouldn't know what to do with it. Would not know what to do with it at all. I think that's how Elon is. He gets so invested in something, and then when we get it, he's like, doesn't know what to do then. And I think he kind of suffers a little bit from that ADHD as well. And that's to Doctor's point. I think it will fizzle out. I think it won't be a big push. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I could be wrong. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with this. With this taking place over here with this upcoming midterm election. We're going to have to watch it close. I want to see what happens with this thing. But yeah, again, Elon Musk, man. Yeah, he seems like on the spectrum. Mayor says Asperger's. So anyway, just my thoughts. Just some thoughts on that. Nothing much. Not that much on that there. But it was worth noting, though. Worth talking about. Because you're going to probably hear a lot more about it. And it would not surprise me if the media is going to utilize this in order to try to drive a further wedge with people who support Musk or supports his product or anything like that. And really, I like Elon Musk mostly. I think he's a pretty smart guy. I think he has lots of big visions, right? Like going to Mars and stuff like that. And I hope he's successful in those things, right? I don't want him not to be successful because I love great American inventors. I love inventors. I just think people who can create something by building something or have something in their head and they're able to build it, I think that's pretty cool. I don't have that trait in me. I'm not a builder. You can ask my wife. not a builder. I don't build things very well. I can lead things. I can lead people. I can lead. I can enact visions and things like that. I can have my own kind of vision that I have and work toward that. But when it comes to working with my hands and building things, I'm not very good at that. I work with my hands great. I can do work like physical labor. I don't mind physical labor. It's just I don't have that gift. I can't build things. And I really admire those individuals that can fix things very easily, comes very naturally to them and things like that. Those people just amaze me. They amaze me by the way they think. Like I would have never thought about that. Like we have this friend that is able to repair most things. He doesn't have a college degree. He doesn't have a college degree. Very, very humble man. Just works wonders with his hands. He can fix anything. He can fix just about anything without even like looking at like YouTube videos to do it. It just comes naturally to him. And those people really, really intrigue me. And I'm just dumbfounded on how they're able to do things. I watch them when they come over. I do my best to even help. Can I hand you a tool? Because I don't know how to do these things. And watching them in action, I'm like, wow. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I don't know if any of you guys are like that or not, but that's just me. That's how I operate sometimes mentally. I think I'm just simply amazed by how people can work and fix things. It just blows my mind. Blows my mind. Those people are special people. And So anyhow. So unfortunately, in Texas, there's been major flooding in Texas. I just visited Texas not too long ago. I was in Texas a couple weeks ago. I was in downtown Dallas. I was there for a conference. My wife and I and Texas, the parts that we passed through are pretty. And man, what devastation is Texas going through right now? It's terrible. It is terrible what's going through. Yeah, Pookie, 32 dead and 27 missing in Texas. That's a terrible thing. And nobody should be celebrating it, right? If fires have happened. Hey, thank you. I'm Divine. She said, Frank, your gift is in the spirit. That's the most important gift of all. Yep. Do not be discouraged. Oh, I'm not discouraged. I get it. I understand. I don't get discouraged. I just don't fix things well. And Bobby Walter, I think that's awesome, by the way, that you fix things to make them go. I think that's really awesome, by the way. Awesome. And yeah, Juan, 19 of the 19 of the 32 that have died were children. The ghouls that have come out the woodwork to spike a political football over this is absolutely incredibly insensitive, first of all, but ghoulish. These people are ghouls, man. They're ghouls. I don't know any other way to vile, evil. Just anyway, many of you guys have been keeping up with this. I was a little late to this. About the floods. I was late as far as realizing there was a lot of flooding happening in Texas. I wasn't really keeping up with that. I started seeing it late yesterday and then obviously today. However, leftist schools celebrate Texas flooding that's killed 32 people, including 14 Christian children. There was a Christian camp, an all-girls camp that was going on there in Texas, and that flood went right through that camp, sweeping away girls. And they're celebrating. I've never celebrated any type of disasters. I don't care if they happen in California or New York or any liberal state, Democrat state or whatever. It saddens my heart when I see that happen. It saddens my heart when I see things like this. Fires in Hawaii, the fires in California, the loss of life, people losing their houses, devastation. It's nothing to cheer for. It's nothing to try to make political, but these people do it every single time. Leftist schools are celebrating as the death toll from the flooding in Central Texas rises. According to the Associated Press, at least 32 people are dead, including 14 Christian children attending a summer camp. Rescuers scoured flooded riverbanks littered with mangled trees Saturday and turned over rocks in search for more than 2,000 children from a girls' camp and many other missing after a wall of water blasted down a river in the Texas Hill Country. The storm killed at least 32 people, including 14 children, the AP reported. Since Thursday, reports up to 15 inches of rain have fallen in Kerr County, Texas. Some children who were at Camp Mystic have gone missing and are still unaccounted for. Camp Mystic is an all-girls Christian summer camp. Rescue efforts were underway on Friday. But the leftists celebrated dead Christian children because they live in a state that voted for President Trump. The people in Texas voted for a government service controlled by Donald Trump and Greg Abbott. That's exactly what they're getting, one leftist said. Texas deserves every flood God has spoken, and it hates Texas, another said while laughing at dead Christian children. Cry harder. Texas deserves it, a leftist said. This other person over here, I'm kind of happy the National Weather Service gave innocent predictions when it came to how much rain would fall, especially since the best and brightest from that organization were let go due to Doge, Elon, and Trump. Texas deserves the flooding. Rutrow, Texas, what you gonna do? There's no FEMA to pick you up by your bootstraps. They gave it all to ICE. The people in Texas voted for the government services controlled by Trump and Greg Abbott. That's exactly what they're getting. Good. I'm glad. Did it take Rogan with it too? I can only hope. Texas deserves it. It's God's will, of course. It's God's will, of course. That's what God would have wanted, right, Republicans? Ha, 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 ha. My empathy for these rednecks rejects states and is zero. So F them. I hope more come. Let's start the hurricanes. These people are gross. These people are absolutely vile. Vile. These people probably deserve to be locked up in an insane asylum as well. It's sick how these people behave. But that's what they are. Their mask drops immediately. They're not compassionate. They're not some virtue of morals. I say this all the time, and I still say this today. Don't let leftists lecture you about what the Bible says if you're a Christian. Don't let them lecture you or try to use it against you. These people are nasty, vile creatures. Don't let them do any of those things. Try to take the moral. They have zero moral high ground. They cheer the death of babies. They fight tooth and nail for babies to be extracted from their mothers. They mutilate kids. They encourage gays to adopt And we know what happens after that happens. There's usually some assaulting that takes place to the kids. They have zero morals. That's why when they try to shame you for cheering on deportations, legal, by the way, deportations of people who don't belong in the country, I don't pay attention and I don't give a squat what they think. Because they're vile individuals. Vile. Yes, the left-wing people need the Lord Jesus Christ. Absolutely. Seriously, pray for their salvation. Absolutely. Doesn't change the fact that they're vile right now. And cheering on dead kids. There's vile people on the right, too, that like to cheer on dead kids. Not going to name them right now. It's not that stream. It's not that stream. But these people are vile. They're vile individuals. Willing to have kids cheer on people that have just lost everything. They're suffering, not knowing where their loved ones are, haven't found them. It was like what happened in North Carolina and Tennessee last year. Same type of response as you're watching houses get swept away. And they're celebrating on social media. Sick individuals. Makes me angry, upset with people that can behave that way. You know, the great thing about all this is that they reveal who they are. They truly drop the mask, the facade. Again, kind of like the lizard people we were talking about, the reptilian congressional members of Congress. They're reptilian as well in their behavior, right? They put on this fake facade of moral authority. They walk around very pompous-like. And then when the mask falls off, we see it all. That's who they are. That is who they are. Hello, Spruce. It's my dog. Hey, Spruce. Say hi. Say hi, Spruce. You're going to say hi? You're going to tell them hi? You're going to tell them hi? No? You? Come here. You say hi. Say hi. Say hello. Say hello. Don't like me. Tell them hello, not me. You see me all the time. You don't get to see these people at all. That's my dog, by the way. That's Spruce. Spruce is cool. Right, Spruce? You good dog? Yeah, Spruce is great. I like you. We'll keep you around. The freedom dog. Freedom dog, Spruce. Yes. I love you too. But anyhow, I think that's all we got for tonight. I think we're going to leave off on this, and really, you know what? Hold on. We're going to on Mondays. We're going to do Rumble only stream on Mondays. Freedom stream exclusively for Rumble only. So we're going to do it at 7 p.m. Monday night over on Rumble. So I really, really hope you guys tune in over on Rumble. I'm going to give you guys the link to Rumble over here on YouTube real quick. I'm going to give you guys the link. And so you guys can join me over here on Rumble on Monday night. So If you guys are not doing anything Monday night over here on YouTube, so you can go join me over on Rumble at 7 p.m. Eastern over on Rumble. We'll do our Rumble only exclusive over on Rumble on Monday nights. Tomorrow night, we are going to, tomorrow afternoon, I think I said. Maybe tomorrow. No, we're going to have to do it tomorrow evening. 10 p.m. I think we'll do 10 p.m. evening members only stream. So if you're a member of the channel on Let's Be Frank over here on YouTube, I'm going to do a members only stream over here on YouTube on Monday or on Sunday night. So Sunday night, we're going to do that. And then Monday night, we're going to have of course, the Rumble only live stream. So yeah, Rumble, Rebels rule. So, yep, you guys are awesome. So we're going to cover some stuff over there on Rumble that we typically don't cover over here on YouTube. So I'm pretty excited about joining them over there on Rumble for Monday night Freedom stream, and definitely going. Yeah, that's Eastern time. That will be Eastern time over on Rumble. So appreciate you guys tonight, man. You guys rocked it out. I just want to shoot a couple thank yous real quick out before we get out of here. Thank you to I Am Divine Creation for the 2 super chats you sent earlier tonight over here on YouTube. And thank you so much to Bobby Walter for the Indiglet, and to, Bobby Walter Indiglet, Diggy, I said Diglet, Diggy over on Rumble for the Rumble rant. So thank you guys so much for that over there. I do appreciate that. You guys rock. Thank you for helping keep this channel afloat. It's because of your guys' contributions. It's why I'm able to continue to do this daily. So thank you guys for that so much. I appreciate y'all. And then we'll get out of here. All right. Got some videos coming out a little bit later. Some videos for tomorrow. Live stream members only Sunday night, members only. And then Monday night, Rumble, Freedom stream on Rumble only. I'm trying to maybe come up with a cool name for that. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. Have a blessed weekend, rest of your weekend. Stay safe out there. If you're in Texas, stay safe. And of course, continue to enjoy the remainder of our Independence weekend. All right, guys. Love you guys. And I'll talk to you guys a little bit later. God bless everyone. Have a great one.